Hello everyone, welcome back. We are playing against International Master Mimito. And recently I like the Grunfeld more often. So let's try. And now the anti-Maroczy systems, like people play after knight f3. It's very interesting. I had a game recently against Nabati, like 3 days ago. In this position he played queen a4, bishop d7, queen e4, which is a very interesting line for white. This one is less principled, and a3 prepares b4, and now I believe that the typical move is f6 if I'm not wrong. Either f6 or rook b8, but I remember a3 before castles I go rook b8. I'm not sure though. Or maybe it was here. Seems to me like it was here. b4, cb, ab, bishop b4, knight e5, and the point is that after knight takes e5, queen a4 check, knight c6. If bishop takes c6 check, b takes c6, the rook protects the bishop on b4. I won a few blitz games like this. People fell for this trap. It was quite a pity. So international, even grandmasters fell for it against me for some reason. Anonymous player from the US, Mimito. I wonder what it means. Yeah, d3 is less principled. I guess I can just go on developing. I don't see any reason not to play bishop e7. Yeah, now just finish my development, and if he doesn't create any concrete threats, I will end up having more space in the typical Maroczy position. So yeah, knight e4 followed by b4 is the main idea here when this knight is hanging. So I guess it would make sense to defend it somehow, or just I guess bishop d7 is the way. Queen d7 is also interesting to me, but a bit annoying if I put the bishop on b7 later. Queen d7, knight e4, b6, b4, but also knight a4 I guess. I wanna try it, I don't care if it's good or not. I'm curious. In this structure it's very typical sometimes to play queen d7 with the bishop on c8 and then later on develop it to the long diagonal. So yeah, seems like he doesn't know how to punish me, which is a good sign. I also like this move because it's more active with the queen here and the bishop here, rather than bishop on d7 and the queen stuck on d8. So my opponent is thinking, not sure what he is planning against this idea, but if I were white I would just make some waiting move like knight d2. He's thinking quite a lot. This is the first time I'm leading on time this month. Not so bad. Against none other than an international master. So I guess it's a good sign. Maybe if I keep improving in the same pace, not too long from now, I'll be leading on time in every game. So now I don't see a big threat, so I'll continue my plan. I'll go b6, bishop b7 next. I have to be careful from knight jumps, but I don't see any real threats that he can create. So if he moves the knight, I'll just go bishop b7 and ignore it. And obviously after knight takes e5, knight takes e5, I think my position is fine. And yeah, this doesn't seem too good for me, because e5 is hanging at the end, but b5 seems like the way. He has to move the queen, I'm assuming to b3. Otherwise I'll just win the pawn on b4. And now it's a question of where to put my pieces. I wish I had bishop e6 right now. Okay, so I guess I can just take the pawn and then play some waiting move. Let's say this, preparing knight d4. Not a big fan of what's going on. So just develop. I feel like I missed something earlier. But what is this? I think he just blundered.
Take back requested.
Okay, he offers a take back. I'll accept. I don't want to win in this fashion. We are here to learn, not to exploit.
Take back accepted.
To exploit mouse slips. Yeah, as I sensed it, he wanted to move the knight to c5 and confused. Let's take with the knight. Yeah, and unfortunately my position is not as good as I want it to be. Let's develop. It would have been much easier to give him the take back had I found the right sequence and just had an advantage. But yeah, there's no reason not to behave in a sportive manner online. There's nothing on the line, and even if there was, like, it's never that big. So why not maintain the challenge and the interest in the game? I really don't get it when people are playing online just to win instead of having fun. Okay, so let's just take and then think. Now it's very important to find the right way to equalize, otherwise I'll end up under pressure. Maybe simplify like this. If he takes bishop g2, king g2, queen d4, and or rook c5 first even, yeah, and then it shouldn't be worse. Okay, so I like this sequence. I wouldn't like to allow him to double the rooks and take with the rook. And yeah, now maybe e takes d4, so I can get queen c6 check later. And I have also these passed pawns. Seems like black might even have potential to be better here. Yeah, now in this position queen b4 is smart, prevents a5. I really want to get a5 hint somehow, but I don't think I can. So just go h5 maybe. H4 is the idea, and then some h3 and create some threats. Yeah, this is a good call by my opponent. And now just rook c8. I'll simplify. This move also served as a window for my king. And now I'll just probably go like this, and he cannot take back because I have rook c1 at the end. So a pawn up, I just have to keep the tension going, keep pressuring him. So right now I'm not sure how to defend this pawn, but maybe I can just get rook c3 in and some queen c6 or something.
White resigns.
Also rook c2. Yeah, he chose to resign. I would have continued, but he didn't have much time, only 21 seconds. So yeah, rook c2 is probably a good follow-up and should be winning for me. Let's have a look at the computer evaluation. Not that big as my opponent seemed to think. Yeah, had he played queen b2 to just prevent my idea, it's only -1. Who knows what can happen in Blitz. But for some reason he thought for 24 seconds and resigned. Anyway, let's have a quick overlook at the game. So yeah, as you can see, this was all very typical. And here it's very important to be precise. I don't think I was, but bishop e7 still seems fine. This queen d7 move was interesting, but Yeah, and after knight d2 or knight e4 followed by b4 anyway, maybe I wouldn't be so happy with my position. There's a very nice idea for him, queen a4, and if I go b5, just queen c2. And I guess I can't go bishop b7 for some reason. Knight takes e5, queen d7, rook c7, yeah. So, yeah, instead I have to play b5, then queen c2, and knight e5 is coming next. Wow, knight c5 even. Is this better for white? Not really. Knight c5 or a b4. And white is slightly better. So I shouldn't have allowed it. Queen d7 was probably not a good decision. But what is? Bishop g4 is interesting. So I don't want to allow knight a4 followed by b4, but for some reason this might work tactically. Knight d5. And if he takes b5 and take on e3, and this should be good for black. Okay. Very deep. And if he just moves the bishop, then the point of bishop g4 is to take and go knight d4. And then, why is it so good? Ah, the knight is no longer hanging, so I got away from this spin with tempo. Okay, interesting enough. I think it's a very nice way to solve the problem, bishop g4. Bishop d7, as I mentioned, is possible, but a little bit passive. So in the game, queen d7, and then queen a4. b6 was the logical move, but I missed b4. Yeah, and here I was thinking, like, during the game, maybe knight d4 would have been the way, but I didn't like that he just takes with the bishop, and this e5 pawn is hanging, and this position looks quite annoying. The c5 is under heavy pressure, and yeah, if I take, then I didn't see it, but it felt wrong. Now I see he has this knight e5, and I'm under some pressure. So yeah. So let's see. Instead I played cb. Yeah, my position is slightly worse, but somehow I managed to equalize with some precise moves, and instead of drawing this position, my opponent suddenly blundered with rook a1. Although it's still fine for him, he could still play king h2 here. Instead of rook a1, just moving the king from the check would have been easier, and then after queen d5 he can take on b5. So it would have been much easier for him. So up until here it was more or less even, and rook a1 just gave away his easy drawing chances, I would say. And now suddenly he was standing very bad, and he just resigned. Not such a bad game, but I still have a lot to improve. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and learned something from it. And if you want to learn some more, then keep watching the next videos.